We are here with former University of Hawaii safety Tumua Tuinei. Now he's a funny guy, funny comedian out here. So I ask you how you doing.
Doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks, Justin, for having me on this. I don't know. I guess Zoom interview because this is what we got to do now.
Right.
It's the new normal. But yeah, I'm excited to talk story with you, and 'cause I know you interviewed a lot of former athletes and just like Hawaii celebrities. So it's an honor to be on this with you.
I appreciate it. So I gotta ask you. I've known about you for quite some time. I know you play football, passions that you had. I definitely gotta ask you though. How was your football experience? I know you play at Punahou, and I know you had a chance to play at the University of Hawaii. So talk about your football experience. How was that for you?
So yeah, I come from a big football family. My dad and my uncle were these big time football stars back in the day. Um, my dad is a former UH football player as well, and he ended up playing in the NFL for the Detroit Lions. And then my uncle went to UCLA and also UH too, and he ended up playing for the Dallas Cowboys for about 14 years. He's more well known in the football world. So yeah, I had a lot of big shoes to fill in. I guess the pressure was on, but yeah, I played football all my life. Pop Warner, growing up. Then I ended up going to Punahou. I went there because my uncle went there. That's his alumni, and I did it in honor of him. And while I was up there, I played football. I also played a little bit of basketball, but football was my passion. I always wanted to, follow my dreams, make it to the NFL or some pro league. And I always wanted to stay home too and play for UH. I loved UH. So I ended up playing. I played the linebacker at Punahou, and then I got a preferred walk on to UH, so I took that with that was when Norm Chow was there, like his last 2 years. So I took that, and then I ended up playing safety. They moved me to the safety position at UH, and then my junior year, I ended up earning a scholarship when Rolo was there. Then I mean, I wasn't a starter. I pretty much played special teams, but I still traveled with the team, and just the experience and being around the boys and joking around and having fun in the locker room was is always a great experience and something that I definitely miss now that football is done. Graduated in 2018, December 2018. Football, and right now I'm coaching at IAL High School, helping out over there just on the side. They needed some help on the defensive side, so just helping out with the kids and the youth of Hawaii.
I've been wanting to ask you for quite some time. How was that for you? Playing at the University of Hawaii, because I know you are now a comedian, a lot of shows, a lot of big time shows. What was that like? I mean, I know you had to deal with two coaches, but did you ever crack jokes against any of them?
They're definitely two different people and two different types of coaches. Norm Chow was strictly old school. Everything got to be like his way, almost like a dictator almost. Like he made sure we only wear like white socks to practice. We couldn't have any stickers on our helmets. Like it. I mean, it was they're two different coaches, but the same. I think Rolovich was more of a how do I say this? More of a player's coach, I guess, since we felt like he was one of the boys and one of us, just because he's so young. He was only like what 36, 37. He was like one of the youngest head coaches. So that's one thing that helped us is because he was relatable. Like he wasn't too far from playing from the game. Like he pretty much recently only played what like 10 more than like 12, 15 years ago. And like, so he understands, and he's plus a UH alumni too, so he understands what we're going through. And um, two awesome coaches. Norm Chow, everybody didn't like Norm Chow because of our losing record, but I actually personally liked him. He's a good guy, and he always took care of the players. He always fed us. He always gave us like lots of gear, and that's all coming from his money. Like when we had Rolo, we didn't really have that much because he wasn't as rich as Chow at that time. But two different coaches, but they both have their ups and downs, and it's a great experience to just be part of both of them. Also, like on the defensive side, every year that I was there was a new defensive coordinator. So every year we were learning a new playbook, which was tough for the defensive guys. Um, and that just made it hard for us because I believe you got to stick with one plan a basic playbook, and just as you grow in the years of college, you get more familiar with the playbook. But it's tough on us to learn a new one every year. But you just got to do what you have to do and deal with the circumstances. But it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it.
You've mentioned memorable experiences playing at UH,
Yeah.
travel, playing games, and whatnot. Shifting gears to comedy, what do you think your career would have been if it had not been in the entertainment industry as a comedian?
If football wasn't there either, probably well, I always wanted to be an actor and do comedy deep down. Just a regular like average worker somewhere working in Hawaii. Probably coaching. Like I'm coaching right now, football. I'll probably pursue like a more professional career in coaching. Like I'll probably try to GA at UH or some other college and choose that route. I know that's a tough route. I've seen a bunch of GAs come and go at UH, and I always was interested in that. Like I always thought, oh, maybe I should be a coach because I have a degree and um and I could probably pursue my master's. That's a lot of people do. So if I didn't end up being a comedian or in the entertainment business, I'd probably do that. That's a good question, though.
You've got a lot of funny videos out. I know you, and it's so relatable. I mean, from the construction worker to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with the COVID-19 having to run out, you got your mask, forgot your keys. I mean, all what you do is relatable. So it's funny. I remember watching some of it this week. I'm just like cracking up, dying. Like, yeah, it's Spectrum. Oh man, this.
Because right now, I can't get on stage, can't do comedy. So I never really made like skits like that before. Only since this pandemic I started doing that. So I thought, since one aspect of my career is taken away, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna sit there and not do nothing? But no, obviously I gotta try, reach out to my fans, to my audience some way. So I decided to make some skits, and just a couple of them went kind of viral, and my fan base like on Instagram definitely grew. I'm surprised with that, and I'm happy with that. I think this in any career you have or aspect, how you take the pandemic, because everyone's hurting from this, but are you gonna look at it like in a positive way or a negative way? Just like how you're doing this interview, it's awesome that this quarantine is not stopping you from reaching out to people and still doing it, because we can do it through Zoom. So there's always a way to find and keep your grind going.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Now, where do you draw your inspiration from? When it comes to comedy and it comes to writing out different skits or just thinking about different ideas. Where does your uh, you know comedy come from? I mean, I know that your uncle played football. I know that your dad played football as well. Where does your inspirations come from?
A lot of it comes from my family. If you see my stand up, most of it is about my local family and just me being, I'm part Samoan, part Portuguese. So right there, you can tell a whole bunch of bits and jokes, and a lot of my bits are experiences that I had growing up. Being a lot shorter than my dad is always and my uncle too. Like even my whole dad's side of the family is way taller than me. But I don't know. Maybe my growth spurt coming in soon. We'll see. But but it's all experiences, and I just try to tell it on stage. And then like for my skits, I try to think of something that's super relatable to a local family member or a local an average local person. I want to be that person that everyone can say, "Oh yeah, I seen that guy in my life. I seen the cable guy do that. I seen the construction guy, the mechanic. Just super. The main thing is just be relatable, and then you can throw in some one liners, some funny situations, and all of my ideas is just that's the hardest part, just coming up with ideas. I even asked some of my friends, what is there any like topics you guys are thinking, like what did you guys do like when you're younger, or what is some local stuff people do. So I'm always asking, I'm always brainstorming and trying to find the next idea. I would say that's my inspiration. It's tough. But it's fun though. I love it, and I wouldn't wanna do anything else.
As far as your memorable experiences in comedy, which one would it have to be?
Well, my most memorable would probably be the very first time I headlined. So for like comedy terminology, headline means you're the main act. You usually do about an hour on stage. So you have other comedians come on before you. They open up before you, maybe like 2 or 3 comedians. They each do like 10 minutes, and then you're the headlining the main act. The very first time I did that was 2000 and 2019. So so I graduated in 2018, December 2018, and in January 2019 I did my first, and it was at Hawaiian Brian's. There was about like 330 people. I sold out that big room, and I just like to think that because that was like a start of like my career, I guess, exploding upwards. And I always yeah, that would probably be the most memorable. It was a fun experience. I kind of did it just because I graduated, and also like my college friends were moving back home, and I wanted to give a big show before everybody left. And from that point on, I never stopped. I headline once a month now. Well, before this quarantine, at Ko'olau Golf Course, Honey's Restaurant, every second Friday. I try to do I try to build like more material, more act. And then every year I try to do a big show. So that year it was at Hawaiian Barnes in 2019. This year was supposed to be a bigger show. It was already planned in August. Like I signed everything, but we're gonna have to extend the date because it's too soon to advertise and all that with the virus. But I plan on doing an even bigger show in 2021, probably like around mid-March area. So if everything is doing good, everything opens up, so you can be on the lookout for that. But definitely the Hawaiian Brian Zone is my most memorable, and I'm looking forward to more. It's good, and you should come to one of my shows too. Just let me know, and I can bring you down.
What's the present goals that you have right now? I know you're probably thinking about what's going to be the next, sketch, the next material. What is the present goals for you right now?
Right now, since we're in quarantine, is to just put out more content. Um, I try to post like one video a week, just to keep people entertained. But even that is tough. Um, that's my present goal right now, and just to come up with more material. I try to write every day in like my notebooks, just to come up with more stand up bits and all that. As for like future goals, like within 5 years, I just want to try to be the best stand up comedian in Hawaii. People always ask me like, "Oh, would you go in the mainland and try to do comedy there?" Yes and no. My idea is there's so much people out there. There's so much comics, so much actors trying to pursue the dream, and I feel like if I can just be the best in Hawaii, then opportunities are gonna start coming my way. People are gonna see me and they're gonna be like, "Oh, we have a spot in LA. Do you want to try? You want to try to do something?" And then I'll be like, "Oh yeah, sure." So my plan is just to do the best I can in my home area because I have a good following right now. I have a good fan base. I have a lot of family, and I think from there, doors are gonna open up.
You've mentioned comedy in Hawaii, and you mentioned being the best at what you do. There's a lot of Hawaii comics who have done successfully well. I mean, such as Andy Bumatai, Frank DeLima, Malcolm Thang, uh, even the ones that are coming up now. Um, what do you think sets yourself apart from them? And what's your take on the Hawaii comedy scene?
So right now, I think there's different types. So comedy is such a broad subject. There's stand up comedy, there's sketch comedy, there's skits, like SNL and all that. So, but the hardest form is stand up comedy. Because I know some guys that are Hawaii comedians, but they only do like Instagram videos or YouTube and all that. So it's a whole different ball game. I plan on just pursuing stand up, but also doing all those skits. But yeah, there's definitely some competition out there. You mentioned Andy Bumatai. He's actually one of my like mentors, I guess. Started doing some shows with him, and every once in a while, I check in on him and ask him some stuff. He's my I think if I had to choose a top favorite comedian in Hawaii, it would be him, just because he did everything. He even went in the mainland and had a really good a good path of comedy. Augie T is another comedian I look up to in Hawaii. Um, and there's also some young ones too coming up. And I know I just try to you said what separates me the most from them. I try to since I come from a athletic background, football background, I try to tie that into it. and everything's like a competition to us athletes, and we like the adrenaline rush. So I think what I have that they don't is probably just work ethic, and we always want to try to be the best, and we're always disciplined. Just coming from like from Chow's era and Rolo's era, all that background, and I'm trying to use that and push that towards my comedy career. But at the same time, we gotta be humble too. So I would say that.
And when people look back on your career, what would you like people to remember you by?
I want them to say like, this is a funny guy, well respected, works hard, definitely. I want when people say, oh, if someone comes to Hawaii, go, oh, who's your guys, comedian, or who's the funniest comedian, and then they're gonna mention my name, and then hopefully come to one of my shows, and then hopefully I can share or say something on stage that would strike a memory with them, and carry on something relatable for the rest of their life. That's the main thing we're doing. We're just inspiring people, and trying to be funny. I do clean comedy, so that's the first thing Augie T told me. So I started opening up for Augie T when I first did stand up, and he told me if you want to make it big in Hawaii, you're gonna have to do clean comedy because of the a lot of kids here, a lot of the keiki, and just your audience becomes more. You can do corporate gigs, baby luau's, MC weddings. So if you have that clean comedy mentality, and still can, like PG-13 still can bend the line, cross over the line, you're gonna blow up big in Hawaii. So I plan on doing that, and hopefully inspire everybody.
Tumua, it's been a pleasure interviewing you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Glad I was able to catch up, man.
Yeah, I like that. I like that sign in the back. Is that a TV or?
Yeah, it's my logo on the television screen.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure what.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
thanks.
Appreciate it, Justin.